Good evening, everybody. How are you? Happy Sunday. Nice to see you. I'm just just doing my technical things. Oh, I don't want to see myself. Say hi if you're coming on. I'm on my business page. Check this out. And the reason for that is, let me just check this is working. Yep. So say hi if you're on. I'd love to say hello. If it's the first time I'm popping up on your screens, then please say hello, because that would be awesome. I can say hello to you. Oh, I'm gonna have to, let me just click into that. Every time. There we go. Hi, Wendy. Nice to see you. I'm looking here because my comments are here, because in order for me to see the comments on this piece of tech, you have to let me see your name, which is a bit, doesn't always work. So say hi if it's the first, if the first time you've seen me, then say hi. If you know me, then say hi, because I just want to say hi. Okay. Hey, Tanya, how are you? Lovely to see you. Hope you had gorgeous Sundays. Lovely to see you. Okay, so the reason I'm on my business page is I don't go live on my business page very much. But this is so I'm currently in a 365-day live challenge. Hi, Lindsay. And I'm on 172. So this is live 172. So those lives have taken place mostly in my free group, The Ever Evolving Woman, which the link is, I'll post the link in the comments. Hi, Amy. Hi, waving. And so this is 172. Now, I was having a chat with a very good friend of mine, and we were talking about Facebook and how it works, and because he has a huge audience and a big business, and he was like, start going live more on your business page, because people who like to listen to you can set a notification. So when I go live, it lets them know, which I thought was quite nice. So there are a handful of people who like to hear from me. So I thought if I go live on my business page, then you get that notification. What it also allows me to do is it allows me to talk really talk about the stuff I love to talk about on my business page, which is where people will come to listen to stuff that's relevant to my business. So I'm a coach. I'm a transformation coach for women. And I talk about all things life, love, and business, sort of the inner game around life, love, and business. I have a membership site called Becoming Her, which is a membership site where I invite guest speakers in from all over the world, all about the inner game of life, love, and business or relationships. And every month, hey Samantha, every month I've just had a WhatsApp from my son, who is currently in his bedroom. Can I have some ice cream, please? So that's what's happening in my world today. Hi, Vicky. Yay. Hi, Samantha. Okay, so I have a membership site, I run programs, and I also do lots of free content. So this 365-day live thing is my free content. I do loads of those videos usually in my Ever Evolving Woman group, which is my free group. So I will post the link below under this live. So, but I am going to be showing up on my business page at least once a week to talk about stuff relevant to the stuff I love to talk about. And that leaves my personal page for my personal stuff and just checking in with my friends and doing the things that I do. So I want to talk tonight about something that's really landed for me in a whole new way. And I want to talk you through how it's landed. And so we've all heard the phrase, we've all heard various quotes around, you have to live in the moment. We've only got today, all that. There's loads of quotes flying around the internet, all relative to that statement. However, I heard it in a different way this last week, and can I just check, is the sound okay? Because when I'm looking at my phone, it looks a bit jittery. So can you just let me know if the sound's okay? Because if it's not, then I will note for next time and just go not use this stuff, because I could do it without. Just let me know that the sound's fine and that you can see me fine. Hi, Matt. So I'm currently absorbing myself in the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I have read his book, breaking the habit of being yourself twice. Awesome, Tanya. Thank you for letting me know, darling. Thank you, Vicky. So what, it's yes, it's jittery, or yes, it's okay? I just realized I wasn't very clear on the question that I asked. Sound is fine, picture not so good for me. Okay, Claire, thank you. Yeah, it does look a bit pixelated on my phone. Interesting. Okay, well, we live and learn. I'll crack on. Hopefully the replay will probably be fine. Okay, so yeah, so I'm fully embodied. Hey, Emma. In the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, getting a little bit obsessed. So, like I said, I've read Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself twice. I'm currently reading Becoming Supernatural, and it absolutely fascinates me. So it sort of mixes science and the mystic side of things, lots about quantum physics, lots about neuroscience, lots of things to do with the brain and our emotional body and our energetics, and it's fascinating. And one of the things that really stood out that I learned from him and watching some YouTube videos recently, I mean, I sort of knew this anyway, but with this bit of information, with the what I'm talking about tonight, sort of really knitted together, and I was like, whoa, you know, when you get a moment. So the fact is that who you are today as you stand and listen, you're sat listening to me wherever you are now. Maybe you're at home in your pajamas. I don't know. Maybe you've just had dinner. I don't know. But wherever you are with your phone or laptop in your hand, the person that you are today, 95% of all your thoughts, feelings, attitudes, behaviors, emotions, everything about you is learned, is habitual, is unconscious. Now, you know, that is mind-blowing in itself. And a lot of the times I think that when we talk about, so obviously my membership's called Becoming Her, and I am currently in plans and talks to launch a podcast. And if I do a podcast, my top name for it at the moment is Unbecoming Her, because I understand through my work and through my own journey that it is just as much about unbecoming as it is about becoming. And I mean, probably more about unbecoming, because everything we are in the moment now today is 95% of it is learned. And the thing is that we understand that when it comes to habits and behaviors, but emotionally as well. Like when you think about that on all levels, that means that emotionally you are wired, you have a learned response, an learned emotional response, meaning that you aren't in control of the bus when it comes to your emotions. You aren't in control of the bus when it comes to your energy. So, you know, somebody says something, and you'll know this because this will play out usually in a habitual argument you have with your partner, or there'll be a consistent argument you have with your children, or a consistent issue with somebody in your life. And the reason that it becomes this habitual thing is because we have learned that the way they say something, or the way they look, or if they do this one thing, our body remembers how we react to it. So I'm sure you'll have had the experience where you've emotionally responded to something and you're a bit like, not sure where that came from. Like, I don't really get, you know, you sort of, the conscious part of you is just a bit like, why do I always do that? Like, why do I always react like that? So it's quite alarming when we think about it that 95% of everything on every level, you know, things we can see, the way we behave, our habits, our attitudes, like everything, 95% of it is unconscious. So I was in a program myself. So my coach is a woman called Melanie Anlair. She's amazing. And she was talking about time. And the way she was talking about time was that, you know, most of us see time as linear. You know, we get born, go to school, get our education, you know, meet somebody, blah, blah, blah. And everybody has this sort of very linear view of time. Whereas time is man-made, you know, and we'll often say, you know, time is relative. It is, you know, the 5 minutes can go either really slowly or really quickly, depending on the situation. It's relative. And she was talking about all this, and she said, and this is the bit that landed with me, She was like, if you're working towards something, whether that's a goal or this vision of your future that you have, this vision of your, maybe it might be a professional thing, or it might be a relationship, or it might be your physical health or your weight or whatever you've got in mind that you're working towards, when you get there, it'll just feel like another. Connection's gone. That's it. It'll just feel like another now. And I was like, it landed like, I was like, it's just another now. Because yesterday, when you were thinking about what was going to be happening today or what you were going to do on Sunday, it felt just the same as it does now you're in the moment. And so I get this, I'm a very visual person. So I got this visual of just all this like expansive space, white, just nothingness. You know, like in Matrix when everything disappears. Oh no, it's not Matrix I'm thinking about. That film where Jennifer Aniston's boobs get bigger. The one with the one with God, the one with when he's thinking about God. What's it called? What's it called? Oh, I can't remember. It'll come back to me. Hi, Michelle. So anyway, there's this where everything just goes white. And then there's just us in our now. And in that now, we look through our eyes and our lens that we look through is the way we see the world is because of the 95% that we've learned, our experiences, our upbringing, our conditioning, our circumstances, our parenting, or all sorts. So the way that we look at the world through our eyes is as unique as a fingerprint. I've said this a million times before, but it's as unique as a fingerprint. So how I view the world is different to how you view it, even if we were looking at the same thing, because of our experiences and our learned behavior and our attitudes and our thoughts and our feelings and behaviors and emotions. If you're now, so the title of this live tonight was, how's your now? Because one thing I have become really conscious of is that my job as somebody who teaches, coaches personal growth in the areas of the inner game of the areas of life, love, and business. Like, if my now, like, how is my now? So that instantly brings me very present into actually, how am I feeling? Like, what are my thought processes? What are my emotions? How am I feeling about things? What am I avoiding? What doesn't feel good? What do I feel uncomfortable about? How am I being in this moment? Hi, Emma. So it made me really, really focus very much on the current day, because if it's true that by the age of 35, well, it is true, so it's proven, by the age of 35, and I'm now 42. So without personal growth, without growth, questioning, focus, learning, knowledge, growth, without growth, it's very, very likely that by the age of 35, we are just stuck in Groundhog Day. Because we've gathered enough evidence through our experiences, our conditioning, all the things I've said before. We have experienced enough repetition of the evidence for our unconscious mind to go, oh no, it's okay, I know exactly how to respond to this, I know exactly what we think about this, because our brain's job is to conserve energy, it's to keep us safe, and that's its job. So our body also becomes a record of our past, because we react the same way in certain situations, we feel the same way when we're triggered by certain situations. And so the reason I am so obsessed with personal growth is because, hi Zoe, I don't want to live a repetitive life. I don't want to think the same about things. I don't want to feel the same about things. I don't want to react in the same way if it isn't serving me. So the point of this live is like, how's your now? Like, if you were to take a time capsule of now and say, okay, what are the thoughts that serve me? How do I think that encourages my growth? What isn't serving me? What do I think about the elements of my life that I need to grow in order for me to achieve X, Y, and Z? How do I think about those things? How do I behave? Are my actions aligned with what I want. Because if we don't look at these things, then we're just creating more of the same. Because energetically, we are only going to attract what we are. So if we have an attitude that means that, and the easiest way an example I can give about what I mean by that is, let's say you had two people, and the two people were going for the same job, and they were the same sex. Let's not get bogged down with one's a man, one's a woman. They're the same sex. They've got the same education. They've got the same credentials. They've got the same experience. On paper, they are identical. However, energetically, underneath, mindset-wise, emotional intelligence-wise, one has a optimistic attitude, looks for solutions, not problems, is a happy, gives off a happy energy. They're excited about their future. They are open-minded, open-hearted, and no The other person has a negative attitude, believes that they don't have any luck, always looks for the worst, believes that nothing good is ever going to happen for them. Hi, Anna. They have a very negative outlook on life. Yet on paper, they are identical. Now, you'll know, obviously, the answer to this question is that in an interview situation, or just in the way that that person shakes the person's hand, the other person will feel it. They will go, I don't know what it was about that one, but I just felt that this one was more suited for the role, even though on paper they're identical. So when I talk about how your energy, and if this is the first time you're hearing anything about energetics and the energy that we give off, the force field around us as a human being, because we are energy, like a human being is 99.999% energy, 0.0001% matter, meaning the physical form of us. So if we are going to attract, if we are vibrating at an energy frequency, we're only going to bring into our existence more of the same. So if we are trying to achieve something that is not the very difficult for us to achieve that. So how your now is how your day is and how your now is a very, very good indication of whether or not you're gonna, hi Anna, whether or not you are heading in the right direction, and whether or not you're going to bring that thing to you. Because sometimes what happens is that people don't know there's an option. People don't know, and I was one of those people, way, way back. I just thought, this is who I am, this is the way I think, this is the way I feel. I always had an inkling for more, like I always knew that there was more knowledge available to me, but I just thought, this is who I am. And on all the flaws that came with that, and there still are flaws, obviously, there always will be. But what this knowing that if now is all I have, because I am just a now traveling through my life, then isn't it worth spending some time on making sure that whenever I check in with that question, like, how is my now? How am I thinking, feeling? Like, what am I feeling about what I'm energetically giving out to the world? Then just the awareness of that question is gonna bring the things that we're aiming for to us tenfold. Because if I'm like, well, okay, so I would like to achieve, so I would like my coach, this is my truth, so I would like to grow my coaching business. I want to create more programs. I want to grow my membership. If that's the thing I'm working towards, are my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions in alignment with the creation of that? And I had a big of an aha today. Like, I had realized that there was something I was ignoring. There was part of my, hi Melissa, there was part of my life, my now, because I really checked in with this question today before I did this live tonight. What I recognize is that there's the business side, the tech, the actual physical business side of my business is something that I don't necessarily enjoy. The reason I don't enjoy it is, and I mean by that, like tax, financials, all that sort of thing is not something I enjoy. The reason I don't enjoy it is because I have had very negative previous experience in that area. So if 95% of my thoughts, feelings, actions, behaviors are memorized, that means that I have had, I mean, I can list at least 5 experiences in my life that are negative when it comes to finance. It's something that I have had to do a lot of work around and still have a lot of work around to do. And if I didn't look at that, then I would be, I mean, I'm fine. I'm not in any trouble. I'm not in, I'm nowhere near what I used to be, but I'm much better than I was. But there is still a feeling of trepidation, and there's still a feeling of fear, and there's just not good energy around it. So I made a decision this week is that I have to walk towards that and change it. Like I have to start gaining evidence that I am good at that kind of side, the side of the business, that I'm really aligned with that side of the business, that I actually enjoy it, that I make sure that my energy is squeaky clean around it. Because how can I grow the business to the scale that I'd like to grow it to if I have fear that if I grow it, that problem grows? Does that make sense? So I'm giving you a real example of my own life, because I want you to understand, like, I want you to try and, help you understand what I mean and get really clear about what I mean about this now business. Because if my now means that I am excited, happy, grateful, present in the moment, feel great about today, and there's nothing hanging around me about this day that would get in the way of me moving forward towards my goals, then that's a good day. And that's a good now, which means that I can confidently move through knowing that that's coming. But if I didn't take any notice of that, and I just put it back and swept it under the carpet and tucked it away and didn't think about it and just distracted myself by doing other things, which I have done before, then underneath, energetically, there's always going to be this irritating, you really should look at that, you really should look at that feeling. Because we don't get to that next level of us, that next version of our lives, without looking at the stuff that we don't want to look at, because it just is always there. It doesn't go away, a bit like a shadow. So the bottom line of this life is like, how is your now? And if your now hasn't been looked at, if that's the first time you've ever answered that question, and if you have goals or things that you're working towards, is your thoughts, feelings, actions, behaviors, attitudes, all the things that you are today, are they going to get you where you want to go, or are they just going to give you more of the same? Because if the answer is they're probably going to give me more of the same, because that was the answer to my question within regards to that area of my life, not the answer to that question in lots of other areas. But we have to be brave enough and empowered enough to look at our life and say, do you know what? This is great. This is really working. Like, mindset's wicked in this area. I'm feeling good in this area. But in this area, I've got some work to do. And as long as we are doing the work, we are clearing out the negative residue of those past experiences. And then, because we are being conscious about it, the 5% of our brain that is conscious, if we can create action in alignment with our new thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, then we will start to gather evidence. And when we start to gather evidence, we start to show that we are capable of moving in a new direction. And all this comes down to having awareness around the things that are working and the things that aren't. And there's going to be some of your life and some of your being that is awesome. Most of it will be. You'll have a great, if you're watching this, you're still listening, you're obviously into this kind of thing, so you'll probably have a great mindset, or you listen to other people, you might read books, or you might be in a business or whatever. But the point is that our job as a human, I believe, is to be the fullest expression of what we're capable of, because we are capable of everything and anything. And that sounds really cliched, but the fact is, it's true. The only reason we don't believe it is because of our conditioning, is because of the 95%. And unless we've had an incredible 95%, and have had an incredible life where nothing ever went wrong and everything worked out and everybody was nice to us and we had great parents, that doesn't exist. So by the time we are 35, we've probably got some work to do, unless we just want to have the same. And the thing is that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it just being the same. But if there's an element of you that whispers, there's more. And more doesn't mean more stuff. It might mean more stuff. More just means more connection, feeling incredible, making sure that when you wake up, your now is happy, fulfilled, joyful, grateful, all the lovely emotions that we want to feel. Is like that. My job, like my goal for me personally, is to wake up, and I'm not far off that, is to wake up every day with that, like my now being amazing. My now being amazing. And what I mean by that is that I'm open-minded, I'm open-hearted, I'm always growing, I'm always moving in the direction of something that I desire, that I'm happy, fulfilled, excited. That's how I want to feel. They're my favorite emotions. So if there's something that gets in the way of those feelings, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to do some work on it, and I'm going to clear it. Because that, to me, is what living is living into the fullest expression of who we are. So I am going to finish. I'll not go on for too long, but the point is, just ask yourself that question. How is my now? And is that now going to produce the life that I'm working towards? And if the answer is no, awesome. It should be. It will be for everybody, because there's always areas of ourselves that we can work on. And I'd love to help you with that. So if you want to talk about this more, if you want to hear more stuff like this, and I'll talk about all sorts of things, then you can join my free group, and I will post the link underneath. But thank you for being here. I will see you again next week at some point, or if you're in my free group, I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.